Chapter 18. The Hollow's Truth. The Bloodwild's crimson night pulsed with a restless hum, its gnarled trees casting claw-like shadows across Koren's hollow. The clearing was a fragile sanctuary warded by glowing runes etched into bark, their faint light battling the jungle's oppressive gloom. A ramshackle hut of vines and bone squatted at the center, jars of luminescent herbs swaying from its eaves, casting eerie flickers over the red-veined earth. Dylan crouched near the hut's entrance, his starry scars itching beneath a scavenged linen tunic, Torm's charismatic persuasion a restless spark in his veins. Vare sharpened a blade by a smoldering fire, his patched leathers streaked with sap, grey eyes scanning the dark for red-fang trackers. Zariel stood watch at the clearing's edge, moss-green cloak blending with the undergrowth, his elf senses catching the distant howl of hounds. Lys and Arla huddled inside the hut, their bruised forms resting under Koren's care, their presence a quiet anchor for Dylan's fraying resolve. Koren emerged from the hut, a wiry figure in tattered robes, his white beard tangled with starbloom petals, staff topped with a humming crystal. His eyes, sharp with feverish clarity, pinned Dylan like a moth. "The jungle speaks," he rasped, voice dry as ash. "Blood in bitter root. A mayor's corpse, a web of vipers stirred." "Your scars, boy, they sing with the Star Shrine's song. What rot do you chase? And what have you brought to my door?" Dylan's jaw tightened. The weight of his choices, Torm's death, the vow he'd shattered, stirring unease, but he pushed it down. Torm's charisma shaped his words, giving them a smooth, urgent edge. "We saved 2 girls from Redfang's compound," he said, meeting Koren's gaze. "Kids caged, drugged with star shatter, sold to cloaked men with stargem rings. Nobles, maybe Valorian lords, running a trade in souls. We're hunting answers and the trail leads north to Zorath. Shelter us, Koren, and we'll share what we know." Koren's staff tapped the earth, its crystal flaring briefly. "A trade then, truth for safety. I hear whispers even here. Bitter roots lords feast on innocence. Their rituals a mask for hunger. The Star Shrine's power draws them, a beacon for men who'd sell their own blood for godhood." His eyes flicked to the hut where Lys and Arla slept. "Those lambs escaped to slaughter, but the butchers remain." "Speak, what did you see?" Lys's voice, frail but sharp, cut through from the hut's doorway. She leaned against the frame, her bruised arms trembling, eyes fierce despite the star shatter's lingering haze. "I saw their faces," she said, stepping forward, Arla's small hand in hers. "Men in fine cloaks laughing as kids were dragged to stone rooms. They spoke of the Star Shrine, of offerings to Calith, of power gained through blood. It wasn't just bandits, merchants, councilmen, maybe higher. They wore rings, star gems that glowed like his scars." She nodded at Dylan, a spark of trust in her gaze. Dylan's scars flared, a sudden heat, and a star-shatter vision surged, a shrine, aglow with starfire, cloaked figures chanting in a circle, their voices smooth and venomous, promising eternity to those who paid in lives. A girl's scream echoed, swallowed by crimson vines, and a crystal blade gleamed, held by a shadowed man whose presence reeked of command. The vision faded, leaving Dylan breathless, his heart pounding. The scene felt like a twisted echo of stories from his world, tales of hidden estates, secret gatherings where wealth and power cloaked unspeakable acts, a web of silence binding the guilty. Here, in Erindor, the Star Shrine was that estate, its rituals a veneer for horrors, and Dylan was tangled in its threads. Vare's blade paused, his face grim. "A web, old man? How far does it stretch? Valoria's court? King Aelther's hand?" His voice was a growl, but a flicker of unease betrayed his calm. Koren's lips curled, a crooked smile. "Farther than you'd wish. Valoria's region, Krindar's warlords, even Zithara's mystics. Some dip their hands in this filth, others turn blind eyes. Coin and star shatter flow, binding them to the star shrine's pulse. Aelther's name whispers loudest, his star-crowned shadow looming, but proof is difficult to obtain. He pointed his staff at Dylan. Your scars, boy, they're connected in some way. The shrine calls you, and its keepers will bleed to keep their secrets. Zariel's luminous eyes flicked to the jungle, a hound's bay, closer now. Trackers, he whispered, bow ready. Red Fang, maybe Nightvale. The wards hold, but not forever. Corran nodded, his crystal dimming. Rest here, under my runes, my herbs ease Starshatter's grip, and my walls shield you for now. But the price is action. Cut this web, or it chokes Erindor. He limped to the hut, fetching vials of glowing sap for Lys and Arla, their faces softening as they drank. Dylan's mind raced, the vision's weight settling like iron. The star shrine's rituals, the cloaked men, the children's screams, they mirrored stories he'd heard in his coastal town, whispered over beers at the Anchor Tavern. Powerful men, untouchable, weaving nets of control, their crimes buried under wealth and lies. In Erindor, he wasn't just chasing Zorath, he was facing a system that fed on the weak, its threads reaching from Bitter Root to Aelther's court. His scars burned, tying him to the shrine, to this fight whether he wanted it or not. Vare crouched beside him, sheathing his blade, his voice low, a rare crack in his armor. "Our seeing it, boy, the shape of this shit storm. Lose fourth principle, share the burden. In Krindar, I carried my cellmates' pain, their hopes, till it nearly drowned me. You're not alone in this. Lys's fire, Zariel's sight, my blades. We cut this web together, or it binds us all." Dylan nodded, Torm's charisma urging him to rally, his resolve hardening. "We rest tonight," he said, voice steady. "Then we hunt." Lys saw their faces, nobles, merchants, maybe Aelth's men. We track them, expose their ritual, stop it. The Star Shrine's not just my path to Zorath, it's their heart, and we'll carve it out. The words carried a fire he hadn't felt before, a vow to tear down the web, to be more than the loser he'd been. Lys's eyes gleamed, her frail form straightening. "I'll help. I know their voices, their rings. They don't get to hide." Zariel's calm voice joined like a river's flow. "My kin know Valoria's shadows. We'll find paths to their lairs, trace the star shatter's flow. Your scars, Dylan, they mark you for this." A hound's bark split the night, Red Fang's trackers breaching the jungle's edge. Corran's wards flared, holding them at bay, but the threat loomed. Vare's sword slid free, his grin a wolf's. "Fire's good, boy. Blade's patience. Know the battle, now share the burden. We'll gut this web, but first, we survive." The group settled in the hut, its creaking walls a fragile shield. Lys and Arla slept, their breath steady, while Zariel kept watch, his bow a silent promise. Dylan lay awake, the Star Shrine's vision a burning map in his mind, a heart of starfire, guarded by men who'd sell souls for power, their crimes cloaked in divine chants. He wasn't just fighting for home, he was fighting a rot that spanned worlds, its threads as real in Erindor as in the whispers of his coastal town. His scars pulsed, a call to act, and Dylan gripped his dagger, ready for the jaws in the crimson dark.